Good morning. We have seen the water pollution and air pollution. Air pollution, the smoke is one of the causes. This particular matter, which will be just floating in air, will create a smog. So smog and smoke both are disadvantages. Both will aggravate air pollution. The third air pollution, third pollution is the land pollution. Water pollution and air pollution will lead to land pollution. All these pollutions are inductive in nature. One can transfer the pollution to the other. Air pollution may lead to land pollution. Water pollution may lead to air pollution. Land pollution ultimately will lead for water and air pollutions. So it is a chain, pollution chain. So if you don't arrest this pollution and bring this water, air and land under pollution control, this cross pollution will take place. Cross contamination will take place. First, cross contamination, which will lead to cross pollution. So, the land pollution, what are the ways by which land gets polluted? The topsoil. First, the topsoil gets polluted, then subsequently, the soil below the land gets polluted because of the permeability of the topsoil. Major component, polluting component in land pollution is municipal solid waste, MSW, municipal solid waste. The second is the construction and demolition waste. Large constructions, renovations, modifications, demolishing, CND, MSW, CND. The third is the hazardous waste, such as radioactive waste, e-waste, nuclear waste. So hazardous waste. There are hazardous industries. There are heavy industries. They all contribute to a considerable extent, polluting not only water and air, the land too. Land gets polluted because of these agencies. Solid waste and also the liquid waste, gaseous waste too. Solid, liquid and gaseous waste accumulate in soil and spread and flow in soil because of the porosity of the soil, permeability of the soil. Ultimately contaminate the land, make it lose its nutrients. The land becomes no longer fertile, not cultivable. Then you said the land is polluted. So municipal solid waste dumping on open land is not at all correct and scientific. We should have lands, dedicated lands, where the land has to be scientifically planned and engineered. Engineering activity has to be taken place, where the solid waste have to be put in a scientific manner, not just haphazardly spreading or dumping wherever you have some space, open space, knowingly or unknowingly, legally or illegally, just to dump the solid waste and forget about it. That will create public health problems, that will affect the whole system, habitation system. All living organisms will get affected because of that. It is an environmental crime. Nobody has to resort to that. If a person uses a product and after the use, if the product produces, the end product produces some waste, disposal of that waste, scientific, safe, secured disposal of that waste is the duty of the person or the firm who is benefited by the product. That is the ethics on environment. Each individual, each society, each company, each industry, each authority shall have this environmental ethics, EE, environmental ethics, to abate environmental pollution such as water pollution, air pollution, land pollution. So we have seen municipal solid waste, construction and demolition waste, then the hazardous waste also we have seen. So disposal of hazardous waste is separate. The normal or the usual procedure of disposal of the other two shall be considerably modified, changed to accommodate the hazardous waste and do the process of that waste management by which no resource is polluted or further the pollution is spread to other resources. To avoid that, special treatment and special disposal of hazardous waste is warranted. Actually, the disposal, the dedicated large space where the waste will be put orderly, laid orderly as layers, as in layers, are called landfills. They are called landfills. For hazardous waste, the landfill is called secured landfills. Secured landfills. So the nature of landfills will be, if you have a bottom layer which is totally impermeable, such as solid rock or clay, compacted clay, over which you will have soil and the waste will be layered, and again over that soil will be put and compacted. It's a huge process involving equipments, tamping equipments, rolling equipments, compacting equipments, spreading equipments, filter, sieving equipments, and a very large area. This decay of garbages, the waste, will produce dangerous liquids, they are called leachate, Leach. I don't get the spelling correctly. Leach. Probably, if I am correct, the pronunciation may be leachate. And methane gas, very dangerous gas. These two are the end products along with the sludge. So this methane gas and the leachate, they have to be totally extracted. Methane gas can be well used for fuel as a biogas gas. Leachate has to be removed. So in this layer, once you start compacting, the methane gas will be collected and the leachate also will be collected by drains, perforated drains below the soil. And then the soil layer, top layer will be totally made impervious, closed, so that further entry and contamination of liquids or water can be arrested. So that is one method. The landfills, you use the landfills to do that. Plastic waste, lot of plastic waste daily. Millions of tons of plastics are dumped haphazardly, randomly, unauthorized. By unauthorized means illegally, without the notice of the public. Usually the word has been coined as midnight dumping of the waste. It is highly unethical and will create havoc in the environment. Then animal waste, then the slaughterhouse waste, then the waste from hotels, fish flush waste, all these add lot of load, pollution load on the land. The land gets lot of pollution loads daily. And recovering this land, reclaiming this land will take years to work. The land which has been polluted years back is yet to be reclaimed. That is a condition. Because so much of land area had been dumped with these contaminants, solid waste, even before plastics have emerged out. Even those times, the waste have been dumped and the land has started degrading or getting polluted. So reclaiming this land by the use of landfills for municipal solid waste and for construction and demolition waste in one way and for hazardous waste in another way is going on, but that process, the speed of that process is less compared to the speed in which the land is again loaded with pollutants. So there is a lack of balance between the recovery process, reclaiming process, or the reclamation process with respect to the loading process, the polluting process. The polluting process, because of the population, because of the overdevelopment, the urban development is one of the causes. Urban development is one of the causes for land pollution. Hectic agriculture with pesticides and fertilizers is another cause. Then fats, oils and gases. Then burning of fossil fuels. Then letting out of effluents and sewage to the soil, knowingly or unknowingly. Then the garbage disposal, unscientific garbage disposal. And another area from where the land gets polluted is the waste from hospitals. From the waste from the hospitals. Then the waste from the leather industries, paper industries, textile industries. In one way or other, land gets polluted. So it is the duty of each and every individual to see that they don't contribute more towards loading the land with solid waste or liquid waste or gaseous waste. They have to play their part. And there should be strict legislation from the regulatory authorities to keep the land safe, clean, free from overloads and overburden of garbages of waste. Land fertility will get affected, land nutrients will vanish, land becomes mere slum, marshy, not at all usable for any constructive purpose. So after the landfills are reclaimed, good vegetation, proper planting of trees, thick vegetation is the next stage. The total area has to be planted with thick vegetation to supply rich oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide. So the land reclamation and landfills have to be given a lot of care to abate land pollution. Thank you. God bless.